Hi everyone, and welcome to the Calling All Vegan show. I'm your host, Sue Spar, and here with the cutest little ambassador of anti-speciesism anywhere, Vish, who's sitting in as co-host. We're here in front of a live studio audience at Wishbone Animal Rights Lab. Now, our guest has probably one of the most recognizable faces and cackles in Canadian entertainment media. Today, most people know her via her social media channels, cookbooks, YouTube videos, and mouth-watering recipes that make it simple for people to replace the animals on their plates with plants. But if you're a bit longer in the tooth, you also know she was once a Canadian television host and correspondent with her finger on the pulse of music, fashion, and pop culture. Either way, her down-to-earth, open-access approach has gained her a large and loyal following. TV personality, best-selling and award-winning author, vegan chef and recipe innovator, content creator, social media influencer, producer, Mississauga gal, and single mommy, running her own one-person modern-day media outlet. She's saucy, sweet, and spicy, just like her recipes, and she used to have banging black bangs, just like someone else we know. Please welcome the woman with the very cool last name, Lauren Toyota, to the Calling All Vegan show.
Thank you. I've never done a live podcast, so this is cool. And that was a good intro. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, before we get started, I did want to mention that Lauren not only very kindly offered to host a fundraiser for Wishbone this evening, but she prepared all of the food at her own expense. She and Priya Rao, the social herbivore, are covering drink costs, and all proceeds from ticket sales are being directed towards the lab. So I just wanted to express she ain't no cheapskate. You've recently returned to this neck of the woods after living several years in Los Angeles. It's okay to boo.
Yeah, you can boo.
All is forgiven, Lauren. Please come home.
5 years. 5 years.
Do you feel a sense of relief having left Trump in your rearview mirror, especially now that you have a little one?
Yeah, that was like what was prompting the thinking of like, something doesn't feel right. I'm feeling pulled to go back, but I was really torn about it for a while until we were inching closer to November 2024.
Yeah.
That's when it really was like, okay, I got to make the decision. And I was really racking my brain about it. I decided to leave before he got elected. But when he did get elected, I was like, oh, okay, thank God. I listened to my intuition. And I was saying to some people out here in the audience before we started rolling, like, I do feel relief. I just feel safer here, as obviously Canadians know. And just seeing the shit show that's going on, it's awful. I feel bad. I have a lot of friends and, LGBTQ friends in the States and everything. And it's only going to get worse, unfortunately. I was just there on a work visa. So, I didn't really have any real rights to be there either. So I think that would have gotten more complicated to try to like keep that up, given the administration.
End up in the cell in El Salvador.
I know, it's awful.
Guy's crazy. I watched a couple of your vlogs, and you seem to have this unnatural, almost unnerving love for Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
Is that the biggest thing you're going to miss about moving?
I have missed Trader Joe's. And I have to say that just the grocery shopping experience in the U.S. in general has a different vibe about it. It has a better vibe. I don't know why. I don't know if it's like the big American stores or like the consumerism that you get sucked into. It doesn't have a vibe in Canada for some reason.
It's just more of a task or a chore, right?
Yes, it has that feeling every time I go to the grocery store.
It's an errand. Do Canadian celebrities hang with one another down there? And I was going to say hook up, but that has a totally different meaning these days.
Well, yeah, there is a contingent of like, we call ourselves Canadians in LA. So a lot of my colleagues from when I worked at Much Music and the television media industry in Canada are there. So we would keep in touch. We would do like Canadian Thanksgiving together sometimes.
Oh.
Yeah, and there's a Canadian consulate in LA, and I have a friend that's on the board, and there's usually parties, and just like they try to create the Canadian or bring the Canadian community together down there. Yeah, so it is cool. Yeah,
that's great. What would you say is the biggest difference between Canada and the U.S. besides the shopping, the grocery shopping experience?
Do we want a positive thing, like a positive thing, or a negative thing? I mean, we know that the biggest difference. I mean,
you're in a room full of Canadians. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe this is controversial. We can discuss it. People can leave nasty comments if they want. There's something about at least LA, but I do think it's probably like this in New York, I suspect, from people that have told me this. But people are more willing to help you in terms of like networking, sharing contacts, being generous with networking type things like that, everyone seems to want to help. You would think it would be the opposite,
Yeah.
that everyone would feel competitive, but because there is a sense of the like American dream and you can do it all, you can do anything, everyone has that sort of sense. So nobody's feeling like scarcity mentality about keeping their cards close, where I do find it's like that here. From
very
someone coming
stingy with their
someone coming from like coming from entertainment and media and like business and sales, and I've done all kinds of things.
For shame.
People are very protective of their contacts and their connections, and I don't really like that. I'm happy to help anyone. I think everyone should help each
I'm
other.
all about collaboration,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to
Yeah.
animal rights, because we're all going for the, like, we're
Yeah.
working on the same
And
side.
I will say
so-
in the vegan, I'm not talking
Yeah.
about the vegan community.
Yeah,
I'm just
of
talking
course,
about
yeah.
just the
In
general,
general,
all the
yeah.
industries I've worked in. But the vegan community is of course more generous when it comes to things like that. But when it's
Wow.
about making money or like, getting ahead in this type of mentality,
Yeah.
I feel like people are a bit tight with that.
Now, you have a very successful brand with its fingers in many pies, no pun intended. Can you briefly describe what Hot for Food is all about? And I'm guessing you get invited to a lot of potlucks.
Do I get invited to a lot of potlucks? I mean, but I think has the
Free
potluck
food.
gone away? I feel like
No,
it's
we
too
have
much-
tons
since
of them
COVID
here.
and nobody does
No,
potlucks.
we do them, and they're a lot of work. That's why I don't like doing them. But
Well, yeah, Hot for Food is my, I don't know if it's a moniker or what but it sort of describes how I feel about food. I'm hot for food. That's why I liked the name and why I came up with it kind of easily and didn't overthink it. It started basically as a very basic blog when I was trying to go vegan, and I was posting non-vegan recipes at the time because I was showing my journey in eliminating each animal product and still eating. That stuff's not on the blog now, but it was at the very beginning. From a blog, it went to an Instagram, but like 3 years later when Instagram became a thing.
Yeah.
And then that evolved into YouTube a year later. And I really never knew what it was going to be. I just was like I wanted to share my passion for vegan food and the things I had been creating. I really just felt like there was a lot missing from vegan food when I went vegan in 2009 and 10.
Yeah.
So I started creating comfort food, which is what became my kind of thing, what people gravitated to me toward on YouTube, because I found it was just too much boring salads, raw food, smoothies. And I like that stuff.
Bowls, I know,
Yeah.
and twigs and
But I
granola
just
and-
wanted to eat the fun food that I was eating prior to going vegan.
So since returning to your
Yeah.
old stomping grounds in December, you've really hit the ground
Oh
hustling.
God, yeah, it's been crazy.
And you've landed a great partnership with the Fresh chain of vegan restaurants, which congratulations.
Thank you.
Any other collaborations in the works?
Not anything like that. I mean, that one was in the works for almost all of last year
Oh.
while I was still in LA, and I didn't even know I was going to be back in Toronto. So the timing of it worked out so perfectly, and like it was a bit of like a homecoming, along with us talking about doing this, right? I was like, well, I felt it was a big deal. I was coming back to Toronto. But anyway, it all synergized to work like that for the Fresh thing. I guess I'm going to do Planted Expo in May 9th
Oh,
and 10th,
great.
or 10th and 11th,
Yeah.
sorry, in Toronto. So I'll be doing a cooking demo both Saturday and Sunday. So come out. Obviously, it's a fun, huge, Canada's largest expo.
And it's the first one out of the gate, right? I
Exactly.
mean, we're all waiting for Veg Fest
Yes.
season. It's
So it's like
all
kicks
right.
off the season, and
Yeah.
then Veg Fest is in September, I think they announced. So
Yeah.
I'll be at Planet Expo, and I think that's the only thing kind of lined up. But I'm working on all kinds of things behind the scenes that I
Yeah.
can't
Come
talk
on,
about
let's have
yet.
a little breaking news here. A little, no, it's
No, it's not. It's not even worth. It's more businessy type stuff. I'm trying to figure out how to work a little bit more behind the scenes, actually, with food brands.
we want to do
Not
like
even-
a vegan dating show here, so maybe you can host it. And I know
Except I'm
maybe you.
like anti-dating.
I was going to
right
say,
now.
I think you've touched the hot burner enough times that you're not.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I would be the same. Like I'm
I'm a bit.
on my third husband, so my third and last.
I'm
I
a bit
should.
jaded, so I
Yeah.
don't think I don't think I would be the right person to be involved in your
Well,
dating.
it's not like we're going to have you, trying to have the first pick of the crop or anything. You're just there to
to
facilitate.
facilitate. I'm
Yeah.
good at facilitate. I'm good at that.
There we go.
We'll see. But I have a bad attitude, so I wouldn't be helping anybody. I'd be like,
that
I'd be
could
like,
add such a cool, funny element to it, though, right? Yeah, you just like,
I'd be like looking for red flags.
Yeah. really, you want this guy? Yeah. So, are you still available for personal chef
Okay.
services and private cooking and like lessons and catering, or?
Okay. It's not that I'm not, it's just that very quickly. So it's so interesting. So I spent all of last year, I launched Hot for Food at Home, which was me being a personal chef, doing private dinners. I really do enjoy it. It didn't pick up. I mean, I got a few requests and I did a few events and I dabbled, and I think I was just, trying to figure it out.
Right.
Trying to figure out what I liked about that part of what I do. I like making food for people, I do. So yes, I'm still available to do it, but I will say I'm not, there's part of me that's, again, with this other kind of behind the scenes business idea, I'm kind of wondering if I should focus on that more. But I don't know. In the meantime, like today,
doing the grown-up stuff now, huh?
Well,
all the adults.
It's interesting because the catering or the events and the food, it can be a grind. I mean, anyone that works in a restaurant knows that. Yeah. And I always knew I didn't really want to be like full back of house, like full time on my feet back of house in a restaurant, because that is a grind and it's very exhausting. And I appreciate people that do it, but I just know even as the age that I am and as a single mom, it would be too much of a burnout. And I've quickly experienced the burnout of just being like someone's personal chef, which I did for the last couple of months.
Girl, bring in that tray.
Yeah,
right?
well, I did actually like a personal celebrity client, and it was a great experience, and that was the first time I ever did it, but it was tough. It was getting up really early, like 3 a.m. to make the meals for the day. So I don't know if that's what I want to actually do all the time now that I've done it.
I can't imagine why not.
But if people have interesting, like even when I was making the food for today, for 45-ish people, like that's someone's baby shower, someone's birthday. I mean, I do like making that food.
It takes me like 15 minutes to make a sandwich for myself. Like I could not do for 45 people.
There's also something I like about, I always thought I would kind of sometimes want to work in a factory where I was doing the same repetitive task over and over again. There's something about that is appealing to me. I don't know what that is. It's almost meditative. So when I'm like assembling the sandwiches or like frying the crab cakes, I'm like really focused in. And I do like the repetitiveness of like making food like that.
I don't think that's a bad. Like
it's
that
not a bad thing. I like that, but and it's like, well, what do I do with that? It doesn't mean I have to do that every day, all day, 10 hours a day. But it's good to know the parts of my career that I enjoy, and the parts that I don't. There's parts I've grown out of. Like I don't really do YouTube videos anymore.
Yeah.
The odd one I will, but I kind of got burnt out with like creating content like that
That's
at that
the
rate.
thing. It's nice to have the best of both worlds, where you can be robot woman and you can also be this let your creative juice
true.
flow.
Yeah.
Right?
Sometimes you want to be more fluid, and then you want to be more of a robot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can go either way.
Good to know. You're hired. In order for veganism to become more widespread and accepted, it's going to take the combined effort of, let's say, icons, informers, innovators, that kind of thing, because it's different strokes for different folks, and you can't persuade everyone with the same approach. How do you see plant-based food being a form of animal activism?
I've evolved from like judging myself about not being an activist enough at the beginning because I wanted to focus on the food, to realizing that it really is a form of activism.
It's a unique form of activism.
Yeah. How do I see it being a form of activism? I think it's just because it plays on your senses, right? It really draws you in multiple senses, and it's speaking to different parts of your brain. And I think nostalgia is something that prevents people, culture and nostalgia is something that prevents people from wanting to move in this direction, because they say, well, my family's meals are this way, or it's culture and nostalgia. It's the roadblock. It was a lot of mine too. So I constantly want to just prove to people that like you can still eat the things that you love, but they can be animal free, they can be cruelty free.
Now, you didn't grow up entirely in the internet age, so you were probably watching a lot of TV, including much music. What attracted you to being a TV host? What was the unique element that you brought to the casting call, and what did it feel like to land the gig as a VJ? Now, I should say, for people younger, a VJ is like a DJ, only a video jockey. For my next trick, I will describe what an 8-track or a dial phone is.
I grew up watching Much Music. What was it? The Nation's Music Station. That was my like.
It's a good thing you said that, and you'll find out later.
Oh,
why.
okay.
It's a good thing.
Are you gonna quiz me? I grew up watching Much Music, so for me it was just like how, it's not the way it is now. It's how you found out that a band was releasing an album, that they had a new music video. They were playing a concert in town, so then they'd go appear there for an interview. I used to like tape the music video premiere on VHS off the TV onto the VHS so that I could watch it later. This is the world I'm from. So just that being what influenced me, that was my form of an influencer, right? We didn't have that term, but I looked up to these VJs because the VJs were very alternative and very weird. They weren't your typical, I don't think, like polished TV host. That was the whole thing they were going for at the old, Moses Neimer run Chum building. So there was just something appealing as, like, they were misfits, and I felt like a misfit, so it felt like a home that I had when I felt weird as a teenager. It's like I could go there and feel normal, and I could listen to the music that I liked and whatever. That's really what drew me to wanting to become a VJ. Like, I specifically wanted to become a VJ. I just didn't want to be on TV.
Well, I think these people too were very comfortable being, I'm not going to
Totally.
say outcasts, but I've
Being
always been
who they
somewhat
were.
happy to march to the beat of my own drum. I don't care if I'm not popular or this or that. It doesn't.
Yeah, they were
Gotcha.
exactly those
Yeah.
people, and they were given a platform, which I thought
Right.
was cool. It's like, oh, somebody sees a uniqueness and puts these people on TV so they can share that, and then that makes you feel seen. And so it was just like, I want to do that same thing for others, and I wanted, because I relate to them, I think I could fit in there. And I was so delusional of like, I'm just
Freaks
going to
and
be that.
miscreants.
I just thought I was going to get that job. Like, from the time I was in high school, I was determined. And so it wasn't like I just wanted to be on TV. I like really wanted that particular job. But I didn't go to school for television.
You weren't like in
broadcasting.
Moses Neimer's yard.
No, I wasn't that.
Okay.
But I applied for like the VJ searches a couple times. Like I remember doing an audition on Speaker's Corner.
Oh.
That I think went to air. Like I remember it going on the air at one
That's
time. I also remember Rick the Temp saying, when they would have the VJ search and they would show the submissions on air, Rick the Temp like threw to I did it with a friend. We were trying to apply together, which was a stupid idea. But they aired our submission
You come
on
as
the
a
air.
duo,
Yeah.
huh? Like 2 for
I don't
1
know
deal.
why I thought that was clever. But anyway, it went on air. And so, it always felt like, ooh, it's like within reach. Like it really did feel like it was within reach. Also because you could go to Queen and John and you could stand there and be part of the environment.
Speaker's Corner was great.
Yeah, like
wasn't
that's why everything, they had intimate and interactive, and everything really was like immersive like that.
Yeah.
It was so ahead of its time. Anyway, it just became my entire world, and I had to make it happen, and I don't even know how I did. I just surrounded myself with this type of stuff. I went down there all the time. I went and always met my favorite bands. I just wanted to be part of this world.
Yeah.
I ended up going to college for music industry business,
Yeah,
but
I
not
saw
for
that.
television,
Mhm.
for whatever reason. I don't know why. And I ended up doing an audition for YTV in college that I got very close to getting the Saturday morning hosting job. And that gave me this confidence of like, well, someone saw what I know I have. I'm just going to keep trying.
Yeah.
And so I eventually auditioned
They're like
for
all that girls here again.
Like, but it was like I didn't do a ton of stuff, like what
Yeah.
I mean. Like I wasn't like hounding at
I
people's
get you.
doors,
I
yeah.
just-
But I was.
yeah.
There's this site that probably doesn't exist anymore called Media Job Search Canada. That was where I always looked for auditions. Yeah, so I found this show in Vancouver that I ended up getting, but I sent in a VHS audition tape for that show, and that's how I ended up getting my foot in the door into television.
That's
In
great.
2005 is when that happened.
Does any interview stand out with maybe the strangest interview you ever had?
Yeah, I mean, you
there's
can
always
watch-
the best. There's
You
the,
can watch it on YouTube. It's
oh, okay.
it's Jordan Knight from New
Oh,
Kids
I
on the
did read
Block.
book. Oh, I didn't watch it. I felt I
You'll feel
it was
bad
too
for him.
cringy.
I'm really embarrassing in it. Don't watch it. But it is on
okay.
the
All right. Don't watch it. Yeah. Now, your cookbooks seem like they're sort of inspired by some nostalgic wish list of things you'd like to eat every single day on that deserted island that
Yeah.
every vegan is going to end up. Now, you don't use terms like fake in your recipes. What do you think of the pushback by the animal agriculture industry trying to ban the use of words like cheese, meat, milk, etc. when it comes to their plant-based counterparts because they say it's confusing? But oddly, they don't seem to be confused with peanut butter.
Right. Yeah. Good point. Yeah. I mean, we all know it's because they feel as though this is encroaching on their sales and their profits. I mean, I've always said vegan. I mean, we always, later as I was into my vegan journey and doing Hot for Food, this whole plant-based versus vegan thing became a topic of discussion. Regardless, I was always vegan, and I always strive to become even more vegan because I didn't start like level 10 hardcore vegan. I was just focusing on food. I still wore leather shoes and all these things. So it's still a journey.
Shame!
But it was my intention to, not use any animal products in any part of my life.
Yeah.
I just didn't do it all right away. But in terms of saying cheese and bake, I mean, I just think we should call it what we're used to.
Yeah.
Because that's what's familiar to people's brains. And my whole thing was like making it taste exactly the same, not having any compromise, because it's really just trying to trick your senses at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because you're addicted to the other things. So I think we should call it what we're familiar with. I don't want.
That's what I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't want it to be called like, what would we call like a Violife cheese slice? A starch and coconut oil slice? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so silly. It's it's cheese.
That sounds good.
It's cheese. So, but I know everyone, I don't know, it's still a big thing on social, like on videos of like everyone wanting to nitpick what things are called, or like, why do you eat something that looks like meat if you don't like meat? Like all these silly, I'm just so sick of all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had it.
But it also comes with then a responsibility of like, I need to use this opportunity for education, but a lot of the time it's just trolling anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Sometimes you just want to like just cut loose on them, huh? And just,
I sometimes do want to, and sometimes I do, and sometimes it's not always the best idea to do.
Now, your cookbooks can definitely be used as gateways to veganism. They're not filled with power bowls and granola. They contain great tips like what to have on hand to make it simpler and more convenient to eat plant-based. Then these ingredients become part of people's normal rotation. Do you almost need a cigarette when an omni or carny has their mind blown over your food?
I mean, I do like the feeling that I get when I'm blowing people's minds. That's why
That's your drug.
I'm nearly substance free. I like the odd edible to go to sleep. Other than that feeling, I like the feeling of people being like, wow, like especially from people who aren't vegan. Like I can't believe the nacho cheese is one of those recipes where it's like, I'm addicted to this. I want to keep eating it. This is so good.
And it doesn't even have casein.
It has no casein. It doesn't even have cashews in it. It's just vegetables. So, that is my favorite feeling. I don't know if I need a cigarette, but I would liken it to, I would liken it to that
just being
euphoric.
naughty.
I know. You're
just
cheeky
being
too.
naughty. So what is your vegan backstory?
My vegan backstory is that as a teenager, again, based on my age, The Simpsons, Lisa went vegetarian. Certain sort of like punk rockers and people in music were vegetarian. That was like an alternative lifestyle move, like a rebel move. So I think that's where I got my initial influence to go vegetarian. I also just loved animals always, so it felt weird to eat them. But of course,
Once you get it, you get it.
And I don't even know that I fully got it for a long time. Because you just struggle with it and you decide to ignore those
thoughts.
We're so
indoctrinated, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I was definitely indoctrinated, and it took a long, long time to break that down and, understand it and actually do something about it. Because it always felt like there was a whisper of you should be vegan. It always felt like it was there, and I just decided to ignore it. Especially because I was lactose intolerant. None of the animal products made me feel good ever. I felt like I was, from the time I was very young, dealing with, as a teenager, dealing with digestive issues and just nothing sitting well because I was eating animal products. Being vegetarian, then going back to being omnivore, then struggling and trying vegetarianism again, and then finally being like, okay, enough's enough. I watched Food Inc. in 2008 or whenever that came out. And then that prompted me to just be like, okay, I have to do this. Enough's enough. It was I don't feel good, so I need to be empowered and fix that. Taking Lactaid to eat something is insane, I think. So, and I was doing that. And
I know the ways.
I know.
You just tie yourself up in knots to do the wrong thing.
Yes.
Right?
And so watching that movie, because I haven't watched it since I watched it the first time, I just remember feeling like I don't want to be part of this system that's manipulating me to eat animals.
Yeah.
I just, from that moment on, was like, okay, I'm going to just take one thing out at a time. And it took 3 months of experimenting until January 1st, 2010 was my no going back date.
Now, it's not about what you give up as a vegan, it's about what you gain. But when it comes to food, people believe, I would argue mistakenly, that they will have to compromise on convenience, guilty pleasures, and traditions, and that it's difficult, restrictive, and unsustainable to eat plant-based. I found the opposite to be true.
Me too.
What are your thoughts on that?
It was exactly the opposite, which is the messaging I always try to say. I started eating a more variety of vegetables and fruits and other foods and grains and just other things going vegan. Because we're just so habitual and programmed, like you said, and indoctrinated. Most people and omnivores tend to rely on the same things eating cheese as a snack, cheese and bread, cheese and crackers. Like I lived on that. That was like all I had.
Well, and when you think about it, people eating animals, their diets are actually very restricted because they get used to eating those same little. But I feel like when you go vegan,
Yes.
you think, oh, well, I've got to
Mhm.
find a way to eat, and so you expand your
Mhm.
culinary.
And it's just
horizon.
passed down generation to the idea of the plate, right? The having the protein, the potatoes, the rice, or the
Yeah.
whatever, and then the vegetable. It's like
Pork chop,
Yeah,
mashed potatoes.
that's how I
and
grew
some
up, and that's
corn.
still how kids are growing up. And it's
Yeah.
just so, I don't know. Again, it's just passed down. It's easier to not think about it.
Yeah.
But yes, it's the complete opposite. And I've just
Yeah.
always tried to prove that or tell people and say like you're just eating so many more things.
Exactly.
I never felt like I was missing anything,
No,
ever,
me neither.
ever, not from the very beginning.
Now, you are a big proponent of meditation and spirituality. Other than willful ignorance, I can't really understand how deeply spiritual people or really health conscious people can reconcile eating
Mhm,
animals when you think about most are raised in conditions that make them very sick and diseased. And then at the slaughterhouse,
Mhm.
they're stressed and they're terrified. They're releasing a flood of hormones. And these are all finding,
Adrenaline, yeah.
right into
Yeah. Yeah.
their blood, their tissues, their organs,
And then you're
their muscles.
eating it, yeah.
And then you're eating it.
Yeah, I talk about that. I've talked about that because
Yeah.
I don't know that that was my initial understanding. So I think that I've always been a spiritual person to some degree, but it wasn't until going vegan that I felt like things kind of leveled up or expanded, right?
Yeah.
Because the what I was putting into my body was like that last key. And then it felt like everything synchronized or aligned because, this idea your body is a temple. Okay, fine, I still eat junk food, but at least I'm not eating cruelty, like
Yeah.
absolute cruelty
Not
and
eating
death and
someone's
murder.
terror.
Exactly. And a lot of vegans talk about this, and I do believe it's true, and I've felt that difference, and I see that difference out in the world, and I think a regular person can understand that.
Yeah.
They just choose to not. So
100%.
yeah, I've had conversations where it's come up, where I say these things, because I still have a lot of really, really close friends who aren't vegan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a point I do make.
Even if they don't care about that, it's so gross. Like,
Yeah.
you want to just gnaw and gristle? Like, okay, what's wrong with you? Well,
My dad gnawed on gristle.
yeah, I had a dad.
I mean, I think that was partly, we grew up with that same, we were talking about the plate. There was just always meat around. Every meal
Yeah.
had meat. And I think I was always just, from a very early age, was always just like, why?
Now, you have a little boy whom you raise as a vegan. I was raising my kids as vegetarians and animal activists in the early 1990s. They were perfectly fine with it. It was their normal, but the real struggle was to get other people to respect that, including their dads. Do you come up against any of that?
Yeah. His dad is vegetarian as far as I know, but I don't know if he is anymore, actually. And I think he's doing his best to follow giving my son vegan stuff. But now that my son is almost
Now to
3,
get a black diamond cheese slice.
I'm having conversations with him about what's happening at the other house.
Well, as he gets older, he'll spill more, right?
Oh, it's really interesting. In the last couple of weeks, this has happened. This wasn't happening before a couple of weeks ago. Like the other day, out of nowhere, he said Manuka honey. Because the grandma's giving him Nuki honey for his throat. He was likening the Nuki honey to the vegan gummy vitamins I give him. And again, the associations that kids can make, like he understands it's like
You're
medicine.
Like, pardon?
Yeah,
What
I
did
was
you
like,
say,
I mean,
honey?
it was cute how he said it, but I was also like, what a weird fucking thing to say.
What the
Like I
hell's
knew
going on in
I knew
that?
exactly what he was saying, Manuka honey.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh god. And
Like, he wouldn't just randomly come out
No,
with
no,
that. That's
it's so
definitely,
specific.
yeah.
I've had conversations about eggs, so I think he might. I'm not even sure, and I'm in a situation, unfortunately, where I can't really have great open dialogue about this.
Yeah.
I just have to
Suck it
control
up.
what I can control.
Yeah, I know.
And we read Roxy the Rescue Dog, this book we have, and I'm trying to have like conversations during story time about, I say we don't eat pigs, but other people do, and I'm planting the seeds, and it's incredible just to see like how much he takes in and understands.
Of course, because kids are naturally
So-
in love with animals.
Yeah, so I would just like to continue doing that, worrying about my own energy and what I'm doing with him and
Yeah.
how I'm influencing him because I can't control the other side,
gotcha.
unfortunately. And
Yeah.
and I think my friends have said like they're proud of they're like you've done such a good job at not getting bent out of shape because they would. And they're like I can't believe you're not getting bent out of shape. Like
I don't
what am
think
I
it
gonna
would make
do?
any difference.
It wouldn't
because
make
if
any
he's
difference.
like he's gonna do what he's gonna do.
Yeah,
so.
but I don't think he's eating meat. But regardless, it's
Yeah.
annoying.
If you had your own cooking show, who would you definitely want on as a guest? And we're actually thinking of filming a cooking show here at the Loop. So that's
Okay.
another thing. So
Filming all
you've got
kinds
the
of things.
dating thing and the cooking show.
Like, well, if we're talking about like my dream cooking show, I guess I want.
I only make
oh.
sandwiches, so you can't have.
I
me.
want
I'm
Jeremy
not-
Allen White from The Bear.
Oh.
Yes,
Wow.
chef. You know who I'm talking
I
about?
have no idea. I'm trying to be, and then I'm like,
Him
who the
and
hell
or-
is that? Yeah.
Him and or Oprah. Oprah would be my dream. I want to meet Oprah.
Jeremy Allen.
Allen White. Look him up. He's in a Calvin Klein ad.
Is he wearing underpants only? Oh, I see. Okay. It's one of those. Okay. You didn't want to touch that hot burner again, but now you're just tempting yourself.
I mean, this is a person I'll literally
Yeah.
never meet, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But yes.
Jeremy Allen White, come on down. We got a
You guys
surprise
know who I'm talking
guest.
about? Yeah, those girls do.
Okay, we're going to put in the show notes and up on the screen where people can find your books and
Thank you.
ebooks and how to follow and get hold of you. But I don't know, with those hundreds of thousands of them at the moment, that sounds like a nightmare scenario for me. But anyway, before we go, did you want to give a quick plug for the Getaway Code?
Oh yeah, well I do. That is another thing that I do throughout the years. I go on vegan holidays, vegan getaways with the Getaway Co. And this vegan travel company is run by one of my best friends, Amanda. She lives in Switzerland, but she is Canadian originally, and she's run this company since 2019. And not only myself, but other hosts, chefs in the community like School Night Vegan and Erin Ireland, and a few other people. We host our own trips to different destinations around the world. It's all curated, planned,
I know, it
group
looks
holidays,
great.
really fun. You leave with new friendships. All the meals are planned. We get to explore not only vegan restaurants or even non-vegan restaurants that will make us a vegan menu. So local delicacies made vegan, and sometimes like Italy, where I'm going in June, we have a vegan chef from Florence who cooks all our meals in the villa we stay in. So it's just a really fun way to travel, especially if you're vegan, because we find you don't have to be vegan to go on the trip,
Yeah.
but
If you
find,
are,
we find
sure
people
comforting.
are excited because they find in their own communities in the cities they live in, they're like, I don't have any vegan friends. You know, we all know this experience.
Yeah.
I feel like the weirdo, and I go to my family dinners and nobody, accommodates me. So you
Yeah.
finally get to just be with primarily all plant-based people or plant-curious,
I know
vegetarian people.
it's so great being in a default vegan setting.
Yeah.
This is what Wishbone is. And
Yes,
so
of course.
anyone coming in who isn't vegan is actually in the minority.
You
So-
realize how much it occupies your thinking and thought and planning, right? And then
Yeah.
when you don't, you don't have to think about anything because we do
Yeah.
it for you on these trips. But when you're with people who you don't have to explain yourself to,
Yeah.
it's very nice on the nervous system.
Liberating. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, just to end things off on a nostalgic note, let's see if you can finish this sentence.
Was it the
There's
one I already said?
all music, all the time on the nation's music station.
Much music.
There we go. Thanks very much, Lauren. I really
Thanks, Sue.
appreciate it.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
fun to do
All right.
this.
Go ahead, guys.
Much music. All music all the time on the nation's music station. Much music. Get yours now.